Could you talk a little bit more about the impact of God in your journey of acceptance?
For one, it started when I grew up in church and everything, but you can grow up in church, but you don't know God for yourself, and there's a big
Mm-hmm.
difference. So, I got in church and everything, but I felt something was missing in my life, and I had dealing with an identity crisis. That I'm thinking, I'm picturing myself. Who is Marvalyn? Who is she? What does she want, or what does she acquire to do? And I had self-esteem issues. So I done things that, um, you know, we all made bad choices and stuff like that. Because there was a point where I never knew who I was. But when it
Mm-hmm.
came down to understanding who God was in my life, I was like, hang on a minute. Is this what I'm missing for some time? Like, it took years, it took some years for me to understand me. And it's like there's a saying back home, we say a house is not built in one day. So
Mm.
it was a process to come to a point, like with God. God was working through me to know who Marvelyn is, and
Mm.
understanding that this is who I called you to be. Don't let the fact that, okay, maybe you're born different, but I made you for such a time as this. I'm giving you a calling upon your life, because I not only sing, so obviously musically I'm a musician as well. I play keyboards, and I also play the drums, but I don't have any instrument in my house, and I pray God will provide for that one day.
Hold on, hold on,
But
hold on, hold
yes,
on, hold on, hold on, hold on. We're not just gonna skip past the fact that you said you were a musician. We'll get to that in a minute. Keep going, but we're gonna talk about that.
yeah, okay. But God has really blessed me in a sense of He showed me His real love. I remember even before, God sent my other half, we were friends, and He was encouraged. God sent people in my life to encourage me about His love and His compassion, and how He forgives, and how He makes me feel that I'm His own. So when it came down to it, I was like, I had depression 7 years ago. I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for the grace of God.
Mm.
And I tell you, it took them times to really discover who I was. And for the first time in my life, I never felt such love and gratification from God. And I gravitate this ever since. And every day I look myself in the mirror and I tell myself, I'm very beautiful. I am me. I'm fearfully, wonderfully made. I am made in God's own image. It doesn't matter if people ridicule you, it doesn't matter if people reject you. As long as you know that God has not forgotten about you, Marvelyn, then you don't need to worry about anybody. Because if I don't want to go too religiously political, but obviously, if your family or your friends or your peers forsake you, God is always there with you. His presence is always there.
Amen. Amen.